Hello everyone and welcome back to another BCP library video. My name is Katy and this is Charlie, and today we're going to be sharing with you some Shakespeare activities because it is Shakespeare week all week this week, so we thought we would celebrate by doing some Shakespeare activities. We're going to make a Shakespeare puppet, a mask and a quill pen that you can pretend you're writing like Shakespeare. But before we go into the activities, I'm just going to share with you some few facts about Shakespeare. So William Shakespeare was born in Stratford-upon-Avon in 1564, during the Tudor period. He was one of 8 children born to John Shakespeare, a well-to-do glovemaker and leather worker, and his wife, Mary Arden, an heiress from a wealthy family. During his lifetime, William Shakespeare wrote around 37 plays for the theatre and over 150 poems. In 1582, William Shakespeare married a farmer's daughter called Anne Hathaway. They had 3 children together, a daughter called Susanna and twins, Judith and Hamlet. Shakespeare's plays were performed in the Globe Theatre in London. This is a large open-air theatre which accommodated for people from all walks of life, meaning that anyone could go and watch a performance there. If you were poor, you could only afford tickets to the ground floor where there were no seats, and you were exposed to the cold, wind and rain that came through the open top. If you were rich, you could afford to sit in the higher level, covered galleries in a comfy seat, away from the smelly poor people below. Shakespeare's plays are still performed in the Globe Theatre today. Shakespeare's plays were immediately big hits. He wrote different kinds of plays, all of which could be divided into 3 categories. We have tragedies, including Hamlet, Othello, King Lear, and Romeo and Juliet. Comedy, including Twelfth Night and The Taming of the Shrew. And history, including Henry IV, Henry V and Richard III. Few people realise that apart from writing numerous plays and sonnets, Shakespeare was also an actor who performed many of his own plays as well as those of other playwrights. There is evidence that he played the ghost in Hamlet and Adam in As You Like It. Shakespeare's plays had the royal seal of approval. Both Elizabeth I and James VI of Scotland and then the First of England would often hire Shakespeare's company to come and perform at the royal court. Plays in Shakespeare's time were different from the ones we have today. There were no female actors, so women's parts were played by men, and audiences could be very rowdy. They would shout and even throw food at the actors they didn't like. Many modern stories are based on Shakespeare plays. For example, The Lion King is based on Hamlet, and West Side Story is based on Romeo and Juliet. If you would like to find out more about Shakespeare Week, there is a link to the website in the description below, as well as other sources that you can look at to find out more about Shakespeare and his plays. But for now, I'm going to show you some Shakespeare-related activities. So first of all, I'm colouring in this colouring page, and you can print this off yourself if you go to the link in the video description. And there is a link where this is included, as well as a couple of other things that you can print off and colour in and make as well. This is a picture of Shakespeare in the Globe Theatre about to write one of his famous plays. You can colour it in however you like. You can use some crayons or some pencils or some gel pens. It's totally up to you. You can make your piece look as colourful as you like. Now I'm going to show you how you can turn your pencil into a quill, which might help you be a bit inspired to write something old. So I'm just drawing a feather shape like this, just quite rough. It doesn't have to be neat or perfect. And then I'm cutting it out, and I'm turning my paper as I cut out, which is my usual tip for cutting out, especially if you're cutting out curves. And then once you have cut out your feather, you just need to get rid of the excess paper. And then you need some sticky tape and a pen or pencil. And then we're just going to sticky tape our pen and pencil about halfway down the pen or pencil and sticky tape it to our quill, like this. I'm just using white paper for my feather, but you can use colour paper if you want to. You can decorate it by colouring it in. It's totally up to you. So once you have stuck your pen or pencil to your feather, you just need to make some slits with some scissors, some cuts like I'm doing here. And this will act as the fluffy part of the feather. And then once you have cut your slits like this, you can take a pen, pencil, or I'm using a crayon to do this, and just curl around each of the bits that you've cut out, just to give the feather that little bit more shape. And you can cut lots of thin strips, or like I've done, some thicker ones, and you can decorate it however you like. So once you are done, it will look something like this. It just makes your pen or pencil look like a quill, and you can pretend you are Shakespeare when you are writing. You can also download this scroll from the description below with a picture of Charlie dressed up as Shakespeare, where you can write some things yourself. You can maybe have a go at writing your own poem like Shakespeare, or write some facts about Shakespeare, or some quotes. It's totally up to you. I've written a quote and Shakespeare. But you can do whatever you want and write whatever you want with your quill. So now I'm going to show you how to make this mask. And what you need to do is copy the shape that I'm doing here onto some card. If you don't have any card, you can use some normal A4 paper and stick it to some cereal packaging or some other cardboard that you have at home. So you can pause the video and just copy the shape that I've made. And then once you have drawn your shape, it's time to decorate it. And the reason I'm doing a mask is because masks are very much a symbol of the theatre, especially in Shakespeare times. So what I'm doing is I'm getting lots of different colour pens and writing all of the plays, well, not all of the plays because I can't fit all of them onto this mask, but I'm putting quite a few of Shakespeare's plays on in different colours, in different directions. And then once I've written down all of the plays, I'm going to add some symbols like I'm doing here. So I'm doing a sword, and I've done a crown, I've done a heart for Romeo and Juliet, a star, a snake, and you can do whatever you like on yours. You don't have to do symbols, you can just do some writing. You can maybe write some quotes from Shakespeare. You can draw some pictures of the plays. You might want to draw a picture of a scene from a Shakespeare play. And you can find out all about Shakespeare's plays by looking in the description and watching some other videos and going onto the Shakespeare Week website. And I'm also adding some stamps to my mask too to make it decorative. But you can be as creative as you like with your theatre mask. And then all you need to do is cut it out. And once you have cut it out, it will look something like this. Here we go, you can see I've written some of the well-known Shakespeare plays and added some symbols, and there is my Shakespeare theatre mask. Why don't you give it a go and make your very own Shakespeare theatre mask at home? So the final craft I have for you is this Shakespeare Puppet. You can print this out in the link in the video description and then just cut it out and cut out the holes. If you want to draw your own Shakespeare, you can do that too. You can just draw it on some card or some paper and then mount it onto a packaging later on. And if you draw your own, you just need to draw Shakespeare's head and body and have 2 holes that are roughly the size of a 2p piece, and then your fingers will act as his legs. I'm just colouring a little bit of this in with my crayons and I will go back to it later. But this is one I did earlier and I'm just showing you how it works. You just put your 2 fingers through the hole like this and it makes his legs. So why don't you make your very own Shakespeare puppet and you can give your household a Shakespeare puppet show. So that is all for this video. I hope you enjoyed these crafts. Don't forget there is a link in the description to all of the printable resources and also a link to the website which tells you all about Shakespeare Week and some other resources if you want to learn more about Shakespeare too. But that is all for today and we will see you in another BCP Library video very soon.